Welcome to FuzzFeed, everyone. I'm VesperBat, joined by my friends
CPD80.
And you're hearing some very sad music. Very sad music because
it's heartfelt.
Our friends at KIRO Radio were unable to join us tonight. They experienced some technical difficulties, as it were, and I think it's fair to say that their honor has been besmirched. So we will hopefully reschedule this for another time. And in the meantime, let's kick it to orbit and do a couple of strikes. Just as advertised, we had some colleagues from a local radio station here in Seattle, KIRO 97.3 FM, who had challenged us to sparrow racing. So that was the agenda item for tonight. But as we said, I see this guy right here on the couch. He is sharing my disappointment. Look at him. Look at that face.
He is. He's very sad.
He's gone, VesperBat, isn't there anything we could have done differently? Yeah, I think there's a number of things, but we'll leave that for another time. So off we go to see what the universe holds for us. One of the things that we wanted to talk about this week is the big incident downtown. You guys remember that yesterday?
I do.
So, of course we do. Oh, and way to have the matching emblems, and this is, of course, the day that I changed my emblems. So I get to be that guy who, yeah, someone's got to be different.
And it's always you.
Arcburn is
it's
what it said.
Arcburn tonight.
So yeah,
it's not good when you're nuts it up.
Let's talk about the incident that happened yesterday downtown. So, Project, you actually wrote the SPD blotter post. Why don't you break it down?
Origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
That's Rasputin, the AI Warmind. If I'm understanding him correctly, it's a distress call. There are so few ballet fans left, Guardian. It'd be a shame to lose him.
We can't afford another Omnigul situation. Get in there, assess the threat, and aid Rasputin. A threat to the Warmind is a threat to the city as well.
So, jumping in on that, I actually had the benefit of going out to the scene. So this is kind of like how, from a public information standpoint, we break these things up. We send some of the team out in the field to support the operations folks on site, and in this case, of course, Project and CPD were at headquarters. And as far as family goes, that was something that was just fortuitous. It just happened. Family showed up at the scene because they knew this young man, this 22-year-old man, was in crisis. We typically will be flexible, as these things unfold. But certainly for us, the welfare and the well-being was our number one priority. And it was one of those things that It was almost like, out of a movie. It was a very busy downtown Seattle street, and SWAT vehicles on either end of this very large city block. You've got people looking from windows. You've got people who are stuck inside these storefront businesses that were all on lockdown, and probably at least 20 or 25, if not more, police officers. That's a rough estimate on scene. And as is typical in a case like this, it was very slow, deliberate, methodical. And as we know in policing, when you've got a very critical incident like this, time is on our side. So we are not in a rush. I mean, CPD, anything to add?
No, I mean, so our de-escalation training is one of those things that people from around the country are now coming to us to see how we do it and how we are so good at it. And the simplest way I've thought of breaking it down is just, if you think about it, like, when you get mad, what do you want to do? You just want to be left alone, right?
Yeah.
And or rant, for lack of a better term. So really, the majority of our time spent there is just letting somebody calm down to the point where we can talk to them, and they are then making well thought through decisions again. And that really allows us to be extraordinarily successful when it comes to these types of crisis incidents.
Actually, and before we take that, I'm gonna jump in here. We have 6 viewers, and I just wanted to remind everyone that this was originally planned to be a Sparrow Racing feed. Unfortunately, our friends at KIRO Radio experienced a few technical difficulties. We're not able to join us tonight as planned and advertised, so our apologies there. So now we're talking about a pretty significant incident that happened in downtown Seattle, where we had a man in crisis with a knife who had essentially yelled at officers to kill him. And we're just talking about how all of that unfolded. Okay, now back to Project's question, which was, the training element of tactical de-escalation. You want to hit that, CPD?
So we go through, like I was saying earlier, some fairly extensive training. And there are 40-hour courses, so week-long, just trying to learn just some tried-and-true methods that have been developed over time that really allow us to handle this in the best way possible. And like Project Grizzle was asking, I think one of the I missed that. One of the building blocks of this is that time and distance, and you'll hear that from a lot of cops under a lot of different names, but the function of it is to allow better decision making, and that time and distance. Oh, guys, what is going on over there?
I think we need a special grenade. Did we open it up? No, we need a special grenade in there. Let me switch up grenades.
My grenade won't work.
Well, and piggybacking on that training comment, right? So the training specifically that we do, what does that look like? Yeah, thanks, Ghost. I think that did it. So we do scenario-based training, and basically role-playing. So you have officers who are in roles where they are acting, and they are, playing a role of someone who is distraught in this case, or threatening or refusing to follow simple instructions like, excuse me, sir, the business is closed, can you please leave? And how do you address that? And what are your options? And I think CPD had mentioned earlier that time, distance are our friends, and will basically make a situation a little bit more manageable without any need to resort to force. And as police officers, force is something
hate to break
that
in, guys, but here we go.
We're with you. As police officers, force is something that we scrutinize very closely. It's something that is certainly part of the job. And yeah, that didn't work. Something that is reported and evaluated, and there's the way. Something that we want to make sure that is not used needlessly, unnecessarily. So, and thank you, Real Lemire. The grenade was exactly the grenade that we needed. Yes, we are certainly amateurs. This is, I think, undisputably our least favorite strike. But because we are team players, we're going to take our strike and do it. So, my goodness. Yeah, so, that's pretty much it. I mean, we want to make sure we have a safe, peaceful resolution. That means making sure the public is safe, officers are safe, the people we're talking to are safe, no injuries, no hurt feelings. In the case yesterday, which was a very significant case, a very unusual case, we were able to send the gentleman to the hospital without, did I miss? I did. We sent the gentleman to the hospital without any injury, and nor was there any request for charges because, quite frankly, his behavior with the knife, he just was suicidal.
It worked.
He didn't threaten anyone. So tragic, certainly tragic, but something that we as police, deal with, with some regularity. So, I mean, here's the thing. Both CPD and me, VesperBat, are both cops, and Project is a journalist turned police department employee extraordinaire. I mean, so what's your perspective on this, from a journalist standpoint? Come get us.
Yeah, you gotta shoot them.
No, we got this. Yeah, finish your thought. I'm with you. I revived. It is arc burn, so one shot will light us up.
Alright, I'm coming back.
I just, from a outsider looking in, I mean, that kind of perspective. And as Chief O'Toole would say, it's, police work is more than just, gunfights and car chases. It's usually, I think we are too, or I am.
I'm toast. I got chased out of there by a shank. Every single time.
Well, actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
you're gonna do
it's
it,
happening.
Huh? Well, I'm
So,
going,
here's the deal.
as far as I can.
Let's just, no, it's happening. The one thing that I want to say about this, I just want to get it off my chest. I know on social, there were some concerns about traffic disruptions. And I know that there were some people who were openly complaining about the length of time it was taking us to address, this very real issue. But from a police officer who's on the scene of this event, who is, standing next to members of the SWAT team with long guns and less lethal options and negotiators, and this 22-year-old man who is, basically milling around in the middle of the street, despondent, with his mother watching. I'm a parent. Many police officers have kids, so we can relate to this being every parent's absolute worst nightmare. And so we have an obligation and a responsibility to ensure that we are doing everything we can to get this young man, safely into a space where he can get help. And that does not mean rushing in, forcing an issue, pressing an issue, provoking something. It means taking our time, using the resources that we have, using the tactics that we know work. And quite honestly, no one would expect anything less if it was their son or daughter, or their mother or their father. And, that's what we do. And I thought it was very disappointing that there were people who viewed that as an inconvenience. We're in a big city, and in Seattle we have sports teams, we have special events, we have marathons and parades. Sometimes we have collisions. I mean, we talked about it on the show, the butane tanker that rolled over and basically snarled the commute for most of the day. You know what? There are things that happen that are going to be inherently inconvenient. A lot of these things are out of our control. We do our best to manage them. And, as it is, well, guys, as it is, our number one priority is public safety. And of course, if we can make people's life easier and more convenient, we're all over it. But not at the expense of someone else's well-being. Never at the expense of someone else's well-being. And I think most people know that. And maybe it's just because it's social, people like to gripe and But, the fact of the matter is, honestly, that's just how it's done. And that's how we're always going to do it. We're going to make sure that we follow the training, follow the policies and procedures, follow the Constitution, and just get it done correctly. And so, for the SWAT officers that were there, the patrol officers that were there, the bike officers that were there, the people who were commanding the incident and calling the shots, I was very proud to be a police officer during that incident. So that's my 2 cents. Actually, I think I made it more like a $1.20, but whatever.
Yeah.
Guardian, you remind me of, Akora in the Crucible days.
Guardian down.
That was a lifetime ago.
I'm sure Shax hasn't forgotten. He still has trouble sitting. Cosmodrome is turning into a breeding ground for Hive and Siva. It's like one big, disgusting petri
So,
dish.
one of the things we were going to do tonight that we didn't do, yeah, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next week. We're going to try some of the Armsday weapons. That's what I wanted to do on the strike. We're upstairs. We're just pressing on, man. Pressing on.
Waiting on you.
That's where the action is. Yeesh. Yeah, I'll tell you one. This particular strike is going to be better than the other one, but when we get to Omnigol with all that arc burn, boy,
that's going to be a joy.
Yeah, it might be. Just have to play very conservatively. So, one other thing I wanted to talk about tonight was, well, it's kind of like twofold, okay? We had a news conference today, and it was, sponsored by Mayor Ed Murray, the mayor of Seattle, and council members Gonzalez and Juarez were there, and a number of community members. And at the news conference is essentially the mayor and the city attorney, Pete Holmes, announcing a lawsuit against the federal government in regards to revocation of funding pertaining to the city of Seattle being a welcoming city. That's something we've talked about on this show. We've kind of explained our policies, our procedures, Washington state law, Seattle law, what it means, how it works, and may as well do it again, right? Because it's new and it's in the news. So essentially, our role, at this news conference and on the subject is a very critical one, because we're usually the people that get talked about. It's like the police. What are the police going to do? And what's their job and how does it all work? So the long and short of it is, our job is public safety. Our job is the health and well-being of the community where we're working, and the people who live, visit, work in the city. That's our responsibility. We want to make sure everyone feels safe where they live. And that means, those knives are tough, yeah?
Yeah.
That like literally means
that
everyone.
Got me twice.
Yeah, I've got like a rocket that might be able to do a little bit more damage against these guys. So the whole point is just a restatement of our commitment as a police department. We are not interested in your status. We're not interested if you're documented. And we're interested in public safety. We're interested in making sure that people are able to go about their business without being crime victims. And we want to make sure that people who may be in immigrant communities feel comfortable calling us as a resource. Because people who are in immigrant communities can be victimized. It's a vulnerable population. And so we just want people to know that we are not going to be doing immigrations and customs work. We are not federal police. We're local police. We don't have a mandate for it. And certainly while we work with our federal, state, local counterparts and actively participate on a number of different task forces, the immigration and customs mission is very different than our mission. And so while they work in our community, we are not part of that work. It is separate from us and will remain so. And this is something that has been this way for about 15 years across three different presidential administrations. And I got him. Essentially started in the early 2000s and it's just part of our DNA. And it's important for people to understand that, because we can't say it enough. We hear stories about people whose kids are afraid to go to school because they are concerned that ICE is going to show up. We hear stories about people who are afraid to report crimes like sexual assault, domestic violence, or theft. And it's because there's just this heightened level of concern, heightened level of anxiety, and it's just not fair. And when we're trying to keep the community safe, when we're trying to get criminals off the streets, we need all the help we can get, and so much of this comes from the community. So the news conference today reiterated some of those core values, the concerns about federal funding. Public safety is just what we do. There's no dependency on the federal government to perform our core mission, because quite honestly, grant money, while awesome, is competitive, which is to say, while it enhances the services you provide, it is not something that you can count on, because other cities are also applying for the same limited pool of funds. So that's not how we budget for public safety, but we definitely appreciate how we can work closely and collaboratively with our federal partners with these types of grants. So, but to say that this is something that would hamper our ability to perform our core mission, it's simply not true. I mean, gentlemen, anything to add to that?
You pretty much covered that one.
I mean, seriously, we've got like the most diverse zip code in the country, or last I checked, according to Wikipedia. Right? So, and that's amazing. And to be able to provide government services, police services in a neighborhood like that, it's just a really rich experience. And people depend on us for little things and big things. And we're the good guys. Obviously, we're guardians playing Destiny. We're the good guys. We want to make sure that people understand that if they need help, they can call us. We don't want people to be afraid that there's some hidden agenda, or that we are going to report them to a federal agency, so they might be separated from family and loved ones. It's just not true. Again, can't say it enough. So there it is. And it's gonna be a rough dark burn. Oh, we got this. We just need to light her up, and then take care of the ads.
I'll take
the
ads.
Know what? I'm gonna switch to Zala. That would probably be a better idea. Right? Why didn't I do that initially? That's Arc.
That's a good question.
Are you on Zala too?
Not right now, but I actually switched out for this close range, but yeah.
So, one other thing on that exact same subject, just because why not? Gotcha. We were invited to a town hall sponsored by Univision, and it's a Spanish-speaking television station, very large, well-known network, to talk about the same subjects. Seattle being a welcoming city, community concerns about police and police decisions, and federal enforcement priorities. And again, we're not the federal police. We do work with federal police. We do not work with federal police on immigration issues. That is a separate body of work. It's not something that we're mandated to do. It was a very well done, well put together, informative town hall. And Paulo Lamas and Jaime Mendez, I think did a really remarkable job, engaging the audience and getting those questions asked.
Seconds.
Well, thanks, Project. Now we can duck and hide for this part, maybe. Yeah, it's getting real. Nah, I gotcha. Oh, there's lots of guys. So, I mean, we've got a few viewers. If you have any questions about policing, definitely ask us. And we are certainly never limited to the topics that we're discussing right now. These are just things that happen in the news here, in Seattle, and things that are important to the department. So, police training, for instance, is one that comes up a lot. How we deal with people in crisis. And in fact, aren't we doing a AMA tomorrow? That's right. That's the one.
Timely. Very timely, guys.
So check it out on Reddit. You want to do a quick preview on that, Mr. Project? Come get me. Awesome. Yeah, it's not our first Reddit AMA, and quite honestly, this Twitch stream is just really an extension of that level of engagement. We have the benefit of working in a pretty, I don't know. I mean, policing's kind of iconic, right? It's an iconic profession. It's covered in so many different mediums, in books and movies and television shows, comic books even. So, for us to be able to just break it down and provide a little context to it over a wonderfully made video game where we can celebrate our moments of triumph while wiping against the Siva Heroic. Come on, don't do it. Just get it. Oh no. Gug. So I've got a deep thought. You know how it says the darkness consumed you? What if there was a consumable called the darkness? And you could consume the darkness. Consume the darkness. And it's kind of an ironic look at, I don't know, maybe it gives you a special magic power. So when you revive, you're cloaked in shadows. I don't know. No? Is that working for you? You're not feeling it?
Nope. It's not doing it.
Yeah, so we got a Reddit AMA. We talked about sanctuary cities, welcoming cities. Yeah, and by the way, you might ask, what is a sanctuary city? Well, guess what? There's no legal definition for that. It's just, something that has been referred to in popular culture as a city that folks who live here, who may be of immigrant status, may not be documented. There's not a real effort to inquire about their status. A resident is a resident. A worker is a worker. A college student is a college student. It's not our thing. And oh, by the way, an area like ours that is host to big companies like Microsoft and Amazon and many other international companies. Guess what? There's talent that's been attracted from all corners of the globe. So yeah, it's understood that there's going to be a very diverse and in some cases foreign population here, and that just really adds to the fabric of the community where we live. So Seattle's a rocking place. I'm gonna leave it at that. And Lemire's asking, we're gonna stream some of the new raids. Why? Funny, you should ask. Yes, we are, actually. And it's going to be amazing. Because just today we were invited by some friends at our local software giant, Microsoft, to do a raid. So that is in TBD, but in the near future. So do stay tuned, and we'll be sure to advertise that one as well. And again, just to reiterate, this is a new time slot for us. So if we're a little off, it's because we've worked a full day. And yeah, so that's why my skills are not quite up to snuff, actually. Yeah, you know what? We probably should have taken this into orbit, too. This was not a good one for Arcburn. This was actually a terrible one for Arcburn. A terrible strike. Boy. Yay. Yeah, so that's the drill. And we're supposed to do some sparrow racing tonight, which was like super low-key, chill sparrow racing, not sweaty at all. Just watch, Project Grizzle hit the forklift 5 times. Watch VesperBat, sailing off of a cliff, and watch our, Sparrow Racer Extraordinaire, CPD win it all. Yeah, that didn't happen. It was supposed to happen. It didn't happen, and we'll just have to do it another time. I sense that we are close to the conclusion. I sense it.
Oh gosh.
I see.
I sense that I'm ready. Yeah.
We should just have like one person on DPS and 2 people on ads. So I'll do left ads. Who wants to do right ads? Our viewers are wondering when this thing is going to end.
So are we.
Our 2 viewers. So, again, thanks for joining us. Again,
she's almost down.
Unusual time for us. Okay, well, hit her with a rocket.
That'll do.
Oh, she's not quite down. She's not dead yet.
Right behind you.
Oh, I'm down. Revive me, please. No.
Well, on that note.
Yeah, if our Titan switches to
Bubble.
Weapons of Light, we'll be able to do more DPS. Right?
Yeah.
Go on, let's do that.
On.
And honestly, I'm just gonna do self-res. Hang on.
Weapons of Light. There you go.
Let's do a quick self-res action. And that's me wiping. Matt is not. Do everything else I want. Rocket. Arc.
Guardian down.
Oh, really? I'm just like,
Yeah.
do. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's do this. Do it for honor, Guardian. I'm gonna cry. No one wants to see me cry. I need to revive Grizzle on to your left. Right behind those Thrall that are chasing you. Okay. So, you know, honestly, I do like the time slot. I think we need to get used to it. It took some while getting used to the, you know, bright and early, cheery 8:30 in the morning slot. But yeah, let's maybe consider keeping this for the time being. Keep it for a spell. Yeah? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, if we could get through this, that would be fantastic.
And why do I only have like 4 rockets on this thing? That's kind of rude. My goodness. How inconsiderate. Take out these ads. Yeah, so Seattle's an awesome city. Got a great police department. And training is a priority without a doubt. There's a lot of investment in that. And of course, you know, with training, we train because you know, it's in our culture. It's, you know, how we do our business. You know, the pride and professionalism of the department is one of the priorities of the department leadership. A stated priority of Chief Kathleen O'Toole. And so, yeah, it's, you know, what we do. And again, when we're not, you know, operating the many social channels of, you know, our department, either on, you know, Nextdoor or Reddit or Facebook or Twitter, we are, you know, doing police work. I got you. I got you. So good. Okay, yep. Sweet. So, time slot's a winner. Yeah, and it's, you know, here's the other thing. Like, streaming Twitch, it's just like a, you know, program. It's got to be reliably at the same time slot for it to work. And I think we're committed to trying it out. We're also committed to getting good. Which one of these days, I know it's gonna happen. Yeah. This isn't any. Ooh. Oh, nice. Eidolon Alley. It's that Boomer Knight up here. This pains me, Guardians. We got that ogre on the left? Did we? she dodged. Oh, Omnigul. Yeah, so I don't know, Lemire, what's your light? How much experience do you have playing? What do we do? It's so scary and dark. Okay, so I unfortunately, I switched to Sunsinger because I didn't want to just die in a corner. So, if you've got weapons, we can try melting her with, I know it's Arcburn, but I've got Viking Funeral. What do you say? Got weapons? Do ya? CPD, what do you got? There it is.
So,
Let's...
hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, where did she go? Oh, that's so disappointing.
The night.
Oh, no! I'm 400. So Lemir's 400's been playing since the beta, mostly PvP. Yeah, you know, I've done some PvP.
I prefer PvP.
I've done let's go and let's wrap it up. Let's not make Lemire suffer through this. I'm just being selfish. I don't want to suffer through it. I don't. So, yeah, this is the closing finale of our Armsday FuzzFeed stream. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Sunsinger, but what I'm not going to do is use my self-res when she's not on the map, because that was useless. Yeah, I wish I played the beta. And the story for me playing Destiny is I wanted the Glacier White PS4, and it came with the game. And I said, oh, that's cool. And I knew about the game, you know. Bungie's local. Bungie's awesome. Big Halo fan. I was interested in it, but it wasn't like, you know, oh, I've got to get this when it comes out. And so picked it up and just popped it in the machine just cause, and just very impressive. Just a really, really fun game. So I've been playing, not since the beta, but since day one. I've hit 400, made a lot of friends, and, you know, now, you know, for us it's just a way to, you know, pass some time off of work, and, you know, coincidentally through the magic of technology and the Twitch platform, and we're able to talk about, you know, police work too. And just, I mean, one thing I think everyone's got to agree on is the Destiny community is just absolutely amazing. It's just really tight-knit. People are, you know, genuinely interested in, you know, what other players have to offer. People are generous with advice. Like you, Lemire, I mean, good call on the, you know, Defender Titan and the Weapons of Light. So, I mean, what's not to like? So yeah, if we're gonna pick a game to kind of use as a vehicle to talk shop, sure, that works. Okay, where's she at? With her lovely singing voice.
Here's your bubble.
Okay. Well, she's still halfway. We're not going to be able to melt her down this cycle, but we are going to do some damage, I think.
Oh my gosh, sorry guys.
Oh, no worries.
I just keep getting melted. I am...
Oh, ditto that. So I'm going to self-res and take out ads.
Jeez.
Yay! Have we ever tried trials? Yeah, I've done it for the bounties. I usually go like, you know, one in whatever. I'm terrible. But it's fun, and that's one of the things that I like about trials is it is, it's like the raid for PvP. It gives people an opportunity to really play the game's most difficult content. So, let's see. Yeah, no, it's actually humbling.
Kind of like this.
So when we post this up on YouTube, which we will, I'm gonna like edit the last half hour right off because this is terrible. Okay, let's continue to light these guys up. Now, I bet you if we just focus on her, we're gonna finish it. Yep, we got it. There she is. See ya. Oh, that was... That... It happened, right? Yay. Well, hey.
So were we.
Yeah,
Look at us.
you guys did it. You did it. Good job.
Didn't have to lift a finger.
You should
And
tell her.
thanks for sticking with us, Lemire. I mean,
Trust me.
seriously, this was painful to watch.
Come on back,
It was painful to play. Yeah, have a seat. Have a seat. Walk it off. So, yeah, next Wednesday, same time, 7:30 p.m. Maybe we'll do a nightfall, depending on the burn. Who am I kidding? Because that's not going to happen. Yeah, let's take this to orbit. So, do you guys have any final sentiments, any closing thoughts? Starting with you. How about starting with you, CPD?
Any closing sentiments? No, I mean, I think one of the things that we're probably going to have to focus on here coming up now that it's springtime and everybody's going to be outside, car prowls, that's going to start going up here as people start leaving stuff in their cars to go out and hike on trails and things like that. So, precursor to next week, guys. Take all the stuff out of your car.
Yeah, how about you there, Project? All right, yeah, good call. Well, in the meantime, thanks for joining us, everyone. And Lemire, we are also hoping for a solar burn to help out our self-res warlocks. And to the rest of the community, have a safe week, and eyes up, Guardians.